Something horrible happened between me and my husband, and now I don't know what to do. Any advice would help? Me, 25F, and my husband, 25M, have been together for 3 years. I absolutely love him, and we always talk about how we were meant to be together. He is so sweet and loving most of the time, but something terrible happened the other day and I don't know what to do now. I should start by saying I was just getting home from work. I work nights, and he had been drinking. I think he had 5 beers or so. I was in the bathroom and he randomly opened the door and came in to pee in the shower. I didn't have a huge problem with it, but I mentioned that he startled me and I wasn't sure if I was comfortable with him being in there. He responded by saying, "This isn't just your bathroom." What was I supposed to do? Wait for you? Go outside? I said that yeah, that's what he'd have to do if I had a boundary there, and he said that was selfish and that I shouldn't want any privacy if I'm married. I didn't want to argue, but that sounded ridiculous to me and I wouldn't agree with him. When I wouldn't, he grabbed onto my arms and asked me again, and I said the same thing, and he hit me in the head so hard I started crying. I felt of it, and immediately after there was the hugest knot I've ever seen or felt in my life. He hit me again, not as hard, for crying, and I finally begged him for him to let me go see it. I did, and it looked absolutely terrible. When I came back and I wanted him to see how huge it was, and I asked him to feel of it, and he started mashing hard on it, saying he was feeling it. It hurt so bad. I started having a panic attack, and he was screaming over and over again in my ear and saying I was faking it. I was absolutely scared for my life. I tried to leave and he blocked the door and went to the porch, so I left out the back door and ran across the block into the car so he wouldn't see me and stop me. When I left, he called my mom and just said we argued, and I got mad and left. She called me and I told her everything. She said I needed to report him and go to the emergency room. I went to the ER and I ended up having a concussion and a bone fracture. I didn't report him because I didn't want to ruin his life, even though the whole time he was texting me saying that I was being stupid to report him and that he wouldn't get in any trouble. I told him what he'd done to me and he was still writing nasty things. I was going to leave him, but I was afraid to get my stuff, so I got one of his friends to go with me and hopefully calm him down, but he went absolutely crazy and the friend had to keep holding him back from attacking me. I hid in the car, I was so afraid, and the friend eventually got in the car too, and then my husband was banging on the door and pulled so hard on the handle that he ripped it off. He was still writing me nasty things afterwards as well. I finally got the cops to escort me to grab my stuff, and I did. When I was driving away, he started messaging me saying he was unaliving himself because he messed up the only thing he'd ever wanted. I didn't want him to do that, so I came home and talked him out of it. He was crying so hard and begging me not to leave and saying he will change. Now I'm lying to my mom and family and saying he's gone when really he's still here. They all hate him and I understand why. The way he acted that day wasn't anything like how he usually is. I didn't even recognize him. The bump has moved down and turned into a black eye that's so bad, and every time I look in the mirror I'm reminded of it and feel sick. Yesterday I had a flashback and got so dizzy and sick. I don't know how I can ever get this out of my head. But other than this, I truly thought he was my soulmate. He's my best friend. We have done almost everything together for the past 3 years. I absolutely love him and he usually treats me like a queen. I couldn't imagine losing him, but now I have no idea what to do. He's agreed to go to therapy and counseling. Should I give him another chance? My husband got mad and hit me, causing a huge bump and a black eye, and now I am having trouble looking at him the same way.